everybody, just continuing to show how to cut pattern pieces when you are using a cutting chart instead of using template pieces. So let's say I'm cutting a piece and I don't have a ruler that is big enough. This might happen on bigger bags or just depending on the rulers you have. So the piece I'm going to cut out now is 7 inches by 13.5 inches, but I'm actually just going to use this smaller ruler of mine to show you how to do it if you don't have a ruler that is big enough. So again, I'm using interfacing to cut, and I've already lined it up along this edge and this straight line on my cutting mat. So I already trimmed that, so I do have 2 nice straight edges ready to go. And you could start your piece of fabric or whatever it is you're cutting at the 0 point, which currently is off frame of the camera, but you don't have to as long as you get your math right. So the piece I'm cutting is 13.5 inches on the longer side. So since my starting point is here at the 6, 13.5 inches is going to measure at 19.5 inches on my cutting mat. I made a little mark right here to make it more clear in this video. So you can do that with math, or you can also take your ruler and measure up in that one direction. So 13.5 inches lined up along that edge. Again, would be right here. It's at 19.5 on my cutting mat. I'm going to make a little bit bigger line to make it clear so you can see where that is. Okay. And then across the other way, it's going to be 7 inches wide. So I'm going to take my cutting mat now and line up along this edge. We have 7 inches. And then I'm going to bring the edge that I'm going to cut along, again, up to that point where it was 13.5 inches. Which again, I already marked on here. You don't have to mark it. You can just go ahead and cut. I'm just marking to make it a little more clear for the video. So 7 inches in width. I'm going to go ahead and cut across there. And then I can actually start cutting down this edge here because I know my piece does need to be 7 inches wide. Now I'm going to flip my ruler around. And going from here, let me set that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches wide. So down here, that's going to be right here. And then again, the piece was 13.5 inches in the other direction, so this should line up with the line you already started to cut. So 13.5 inches. Again, making sure those 1/2 inch tick marks are lined up straight across so that you don't end up cutting at an angle. And then lined up at the point I marked for 7 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. And we're just going to finish cutting that line. Make sure you hold down your ruler so it doesn't slip. Cut up that piece. And now, even though I didn't have a ruler that was big enough for it, I'm able to cut a piece that was 7 by 13.5 inches wide.